Welcome all my dear student of FY Basic Physics class. In previous lecture we studied the lens equation for convex lens, lens equation for concave lens, and before that we studied sign convention. Now in this lecture we are going to see the lens maker equation or lens maker's formula. Sometime student confused between lens equation and lens maker's equation or lens formula and lens maker formula. There is quite difference between them. Lens equation or lens formula is nothing but lens formula or lens equation connecting focal length with distance of object and distance of images. That is 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. This is the lens equation or this is the lens formula. And lens maker equation is another equation. Lens maker equation gives the relation between focal length, that is f, 1 upon f is equal to u mu minus 1 in bracket 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. So this is the lens maker's equation and this is lens equation, or this is lens maker formula and this is lens formula. What is difference between these two formula, or what is the difference between these two equation? Lens equation connecting the focal length of the lens, lens equation or lens formula connecting the focal length of the lens with the distances of object and images. Whereas the lens maker formula is the relation between focal length of the lens, the refractive index of the material of the lens, and radii of curvatures of the lens. For convex lens or concave lens there are two radii of curvature, R1 and R2. So, and refractive index of the glass material or refractive index of the material of the lens is mu, and focal length of the lens is f. If f is the focal length of the lens, mu is the refractive index of the material of the lens, R1 and R2 are the radii of curvature of the lens, then the relation between focal length, refractive index of the material of the lens and two radii of curvature is called lens maker formula. Okay, this is the main difference. Question may be asked in objective form, that is answer in single sentence, or in multiple choice question format, or true and false format. Suppose you are giving the definition of lens maker formula, that is, suppose you are given the statement, the relation between the focal length of the lens, the refractive index of the material of the lens and two radii of curvature of the lens is called lens maker formula. Is it true or false? It is true. Or in multiple choice question, the relation between the focal length of the lens and refractive index of the material of the lens and two radii of curvature of the lens is called dash dash dash. Lens formula, lens maker formula, and other 2 or 3 options are there. Then you have to choose. The correct option is lens maker formula. Okay. Like this, here also the answer in single sentence or multiple choice question format or true and false format is asked question in multiple choice question format or true and state format, true and false format, and answer in single format may be asked, and you have to give the proper answer. Okay, see here. Before to obtain lens maker formula, we have to study refraction at a single curved surface. Then we can understand lens maker formula, otherwise no. So, before to obtain lens maker formula, let us study refraction at a single curved surface, which is shown in this figure. Here consider a section, here we consider a single section XPY. XPY is the first surface only, we consider only single curved surface, and this single curved surface is XPY. This single curved surface separating two media of absolute refractive index mu1 and mu2. Refractive index mu1 is the refractive index of air, and refractive index mu2 is the refractive index of the material of the lens. So, this surface separating two media of absolute refractive indices mu1 and mu2 respectively. But let mu2 should be greater than mu1, that is refractive index of the material of the lens should be larger as compared to refractive index of air. Also, the curved surface be spherical with the center of curvature C and radius of curvature R. Then we can obtain the relation for refraction at a single curved surface. So, see here the figure. In this figure, we consider a point object at point O. Consider a point object O situated on the principal axis of the curved surface. This is the principal axis of this curved surface, and the point object A is situated here. In this figure, the ray OP is incident on the curved surface normally, that is ray OP is incident on the curved surface XPY normally and is refracted into another medium, that is denser medium, without any deviation. Okay, you got it? Another ray OA. This ray OA is incident obliquely, like this, obliquely on the surface, and after refraction the ray OA, instead going to this direction, this get bends. The ray OA is incident obliquely on the surface, and after refraction the ray OA bends towards normal and travel along AI. The two refracted rays PI and AI, PI, this is the refracted ray and this is another refracted AI. These two rays meet at a point I. So, a real image I is formed of this object O. And let mu2 is greater than mu1 and the curved surface be spherical with the curved surface with the center of curvature C and radius of the curvature R. In this figure, angle I is the angle of incidence and angle R is the angle of refraction. What I say? In this figure, I is the angle of incidence and angle made by incident ray. Why this is called angle of incidence? Because this angle I is made by the incidence ray with the normal. Okay. And R is the angle R is the angle of refraction. Okay. Then angle alpha, beta and gamma are the angles made by OA, OI, sorry, alpha is made by OA with principal axis, angle beta is made by IA with principal axis, and angle gamma is made by AC with principal axis. Okay. Suppose now here it is observed that the angle of incidence I is very small. When angle of incidence is very small, then according to Snell's law, we can write sin I upon sin R is equal to mu 1, no, mu 2 minus mu 1. This is Snell's law. But angle I is very small. Due to this, when angle is small, very small, when angle of incidence is so small, then instead of sin I, we can consider only I. And instead of sin R, we can consider only R. So, instead of this equation, when angle I and R are very small, then instead of this, we can write I upon R is equal to mu 2 minus mu 1, and this gives us I mu 1, I into mu 1 is equal to R mu 2. Okay. Suppose this is one equation, this is 2. Equation 2 is very important, we required it furthermore. So, I am going to write this equation here. I mu 1 is equal to R mu 2. This is equation 2. Okay. Now, see here, in this figure, angle I is equal to this, I is equal to what? I is equal to alpha and this. This is the triangle. This triangle AOC or OAC. This triangle gives us I is equal to alpha plus gamma, because this is exterior angle. This I is equal to this angle is equal to this angle plus this angle. Okay, because these two angles are equal and opposite angle. Okay, so this, suppose this is equation 3. Also triangle AIC, this triangle AIC gives us what? Gamma. This angle is equal to this angle plus this angle, that is R plus beta, or R is equal to gamma minus beta. We simply make the rearrangement as gamma is equal to R plus beta, then R is equal to gamma minus beta. Suppose this is equation 4. Okay. Now, using equation 3 and equation 4 in equation 2, that means this I, value of I is equal to alpha plus gamma is substitute here, and this value of R, that is gamma minus 1, we can substitute here. So, after substituting the value of I and R from equation 3 and 4 in equation 2, we have alpha plus gamma into mu 1 is equal to gamma minus beta mu 2. We simply substitute the value of I and R from equation this 3 and 4 in equation 2. Okay. So, we have this, or instead of this we can write alpha mu 1 plus gamma mu 1 is equal to gamma mu 2 minus beta mu 2. We simply multiply by this mu 1 to both alpha and gamma. Similarly, we multiply by mu 2 to both gamma and beta. We will get this. Or from this we can simply rearrange alpha mu 1 plus or mu 1 alpha plus mu 2 beta, this equation, this term, carry this term to this side, negative becomes plus. So alpha mu 1 2, bring here, it becomes positive mu 2. Okay. Then mu 2 minus mu 1, when you bring this term toward this side, it becomes negative, and take gamma as a common factor. So we will get this equation. So suppose this equation 5. Okay, very simple. Now, if this arc of the circle are drawn passing through point A, if the arcs, now we are going to draw the arcs. There are different arcs. If the arcs of the circle are drawn passing through the point A with radii OA, that means when we, suppose this is the arc, we draw the arc of the arc, and this arc, by drawing this arc of the circle by considering origin O, okay, this is the radii of this arc. Then again draw another arc by considering origin as C. Suppose this is the arc. Again draw the arc by considering this origin. Suppose this is like this. There are 3 arcs. This arc by considering this origin, this arc by considering this origin, and this arc by considering this origin. When we draw the different arcs with radii OA, OC, sorry, OA, AC and AI, having center O, C and I respectively, then arcs OA, AC and AI are nearly equal to AM, nearly equal to AM, this AM. This is because point A is very close to the principal axis, and thus we can write, alpha is equal to what? Alpha is equal to AM upon what? OM. AM upon OM. Then beta is equal to AM. This beta is equal to AM upon MI, and gamma, this gamma is equal to AM upon MC. Okay, from just as I draw, I rub the figure, but here clear. Suppose this is the point A, and we draw different arcs, and then calculate the angle alpha, gamma and beta from this figure, and these are like this. Since the point P and M are very close, instead of M we are going to consider the point P. So instead of this we can write like this, PM AM upon PI and AM upon PC. We just replace this M M by P, this P, because these are two optical center and pole are very close to each other when lens is very thin. So in here, in these 3 terms, we just replace M by P. Instead of OM, we write OP. Instead of PMI, we write PI. Instead of PMC, we write PC. Okay. Now, suppose this is equation 6. And we simply use value of alpha, beta and gamma like here in this equation. Instead of write alpha, we have to write am upon OP. Therefore, mu1 in bracket am, correct, upon OP, this one, plus mu2, value of beta is am upon pi or ip, whatever it will be, is equal to mu2 minus mu1, this term as it is, and gamma am upon pc. Okay. pc. But what happened? Instead of this, we write, see here, from this equation we simply write what? Mu1 upon OP, because am is very small. When am is very small, then mu1, just a minute, mu1 upon OP plus mu2 upon pi is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. Okay. But according to sign convention, OP is equal to minus u. OP is equal to minus u. Therefore, mu1 upon minus mu minus u. Because OP, according to sign convention, this is negative, minus u. Okay. Then pi, this is the image distance. So, mu2 upon v, okay, is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. Okay, so this is very important equation. Or instead of this equation, we just replace this term or make the exchange between these two terms. By making the interchange between this term, we have mu2 upon v minus mu1 upon v, minus u is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r, where v is the object distance, u is the image distance, and r is the radius of curvature of the curved surface. So this equation is very important. Okay. This is the relation between u, v and r for a refraction at a single curved surface. Okay. Now we are going to find out the lens maker formula. And when we are going to find out the lens maker formula or lens maker's equation for two curved surface, this is for single curve, we have to consider this diagram. Okay. And when we consider this diagram, at that time we have to consider also this equation. So remember this. Now lens formula. We are going to obtain lens formula for two surfaces. To obtain lens maker formula, consider this diagram. Which one? This diagram. Here we consider a thin convex lens of refractive index mu2. Convex lens. Here we consider a thin convex lens whose refractive index is mu2, and this convex lens separating two media or two medium, one from this side and one for this side, air medium. So this convex lens, single and thin convex lens which is having refractive index mu2, separating it from a refractive index mu1 on two sides of the lens. Let R1 is the radius of curvature this side and R2 is the radius of curvature of this side. That means R1 is the radius of curvature of first surface. Sorry, R1 is radius of curvature of second surface and R2 is the radius of curvature of first surface. Or we can say that, just like we can say that R1 and R2 be the radii of curvature of two coaxial spherical surfaces. Coaxial. That means the principal axis is same for both the surfaces. Okay, let O be the point object kept on the principal axis at a distance u, and according to sign convention it is minus u, okay, from the lens, and it forms final image of the object O at I due to refraction of the rays at spherical surface first and second. Okay. Now we have to consider two surfaces one by one. Suppose refraction at first surface. First surface. Or refraction at surface first. Here, if surface second, suppose this surface is absent, we can obtain the derivation this. Okay, what I say? If surface second were absent, if surface this were absent, then where the image is formed? Here image is formed at prime I prime. If surface second is were absent, the image I prime is formed by the refraction at first surface, and let its distance be from the pole, that is P1, of the first P1 from the first surface, and this distance be equal to V prime. So using this equation we have mu2 upon image distance V prime instead of image distance V prime, because when surface second is absent, then due to refraction the image of object O is I prime, therefore minus mu1 upon u, okay, is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon R1, because there are two surfaces now. Here single and here instead of two only we consider first surface R1. So suppose this is equation 1. Okay. Now refraction at second surface or refraction at second surface second. Due to presence of second surface, remember that this real image serve as virtual object, and hence the rays comes from here, reach to this point and reflect and come to this point I. So what I say, due to presence of second surface, the rays pass from the medium of refractive index mu2 to the surrounding medium of refractive index mu1. Thus, image I may be regarded as a virtual object for the second surface, and its real image is formed at this point I of the medium of refractive index mu1. So using again this equation, we have mu1 upon V, because this is the image distance and this is the object distance. So instead of this object distance, here V minus mu 2 upon V prime. what I say, for when second surface is present, this real image in absence of second surface, but now second surface is present here, this one behaves like or acts as a virtual object, and it get the rays comes from this virtual object, strike at this point and reflected back, and real image is formed here. So by using this equation we have mu1 upon v, where v is the object distance, sorry, image distance, and v prime is the image distance, is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r2 second surface. Suppose this is equation 2. Now adding these two equation, simply add these two equation. By adding these two equation, add this term with this term, this term with this term, and add this term with this term. We have, by adding these two equation, we have mu1 upon v minus mu1 upon u, because what, this term and this term getting cancelled with each other. Okay. So simply mu1 upon v minus v minus mu1 upon u is equal to mu2 minus mu1 is common. In another bracket, 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. Okay. Dividing throughout this equation by mu1, when we divide mu1, then mu1 upon v divided by v is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to mu2 upon mu1 minus 1, mu2 upon mu1, mu1 upon mu1 1, and 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. What is this? 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. This is the length formula. So instead of this we can write 1 upon f is equal to, okay, before that we have to go further in details. Now remember that if the length of refractive index mu is placed or kept in air medium whose refractive index mu1 is equal to 1, then this equation, what I say, when we place the lens in air, what is the refractive index of air? mu1 is equal to 1, and when mu1 is equal to 1, then we have simply 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to mu2 minus 1 in bracket 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. This is the lens maker formula. What is the difference between two? Here, when we place this lens whose refractive index is mu2, when this lens is placed in air, refractive index of air mu1 is 1, then substitute the value of mu1 is equal to 1 and you simply get 1 upon this. This is the lens maker formula. Okay. Now we know that 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. This is lens formula. So instead of this we can write this mu2 minus 1 upon r2 minus 1 upon r1. This is the lens maker formula according to the definition. But when this is possible, according to this definition, according to the definition of focal length, when object is at infinite distance, when object is at infinite distance from the lens, that is u is equal to infinity, then image is formed at the focus v is equal to f. Then this, or simply when this is possible by using lens formula also, or simply when object is placed at infinite distance, that is value of is infinite, 1 upon infinity is equal to 0, and then 1 upon f is nothing else. Why this here? Because when object is placed at infinite distance, image is formed at the focus and hence V is equal to F, and therefore this is the formula. So this formula is also very, very important from exam point of view. In this way, we studied the lens maker formula. We derived an expression for lens maker's formula, which is very important point for exam point of view. So you have to read this and understand this in detail. We shall stop here. Thank you.